Hey, what is up, everybody? Sorry I'm a bit late. I was in a bit of a rush this morning. What are we doing today? Today we are going to be building some kind of mechanical squid. It won't be super complicated. I think I'll just have the tentacles rotate around. I did build a prototype, which is a bit in pieces at the moment. I ordered a bunch of pieces from Bricklink in the colors I wanted, and we'll do the final assembly today, and we'll try some different options for certain things and see what ends up working out. I see some people in chat, which is always good. Hopefully, let me go see if this actually works. Oh yeah, we appear to be live. Excellent. As I said, I'm in a bit of a rush this morning. Okay. Anyway, we have some people in the chat. I see. So let's get right into it. CJ, greetings from Germany. Cheers. Just keep it in English so everybody can understand you, please. That would be much appreciated. And let's get to building. Hold on, let me just get some things set up here. Okay, so basically the way I envision this model working out is that we'll have some kind of carapace canopy for the squid, which I'm using these semicircular or semi-spherical domes. And I have a few different colors to play with. For the tentacles, we're just going to be using some of these dinosaur tail pieces, and they're just going to be rotating underneath the squid. And I think I'm only going to do 4 of them, which is clearly inaccurate to the real thing, but you know, it's just an artistic interpretation, so we can make it however we like, which is always the case. Another thing I'll be experimenting with is I actually bought some of these crazy metallic colored gears like brass, pearl gold. If you're been around Lego for a while, you know that like 8-tooth gears only come in dark gray, well, except for these non-friction ones in red, and 16-tooth gears typically only come in light gray. So I think it will be fun to create a version with some of these pearl goldy gears. Obviously these are not genuine Lego pieces, these are knockoffs. But I'm always interested in seeing what else is out there in terms of possibilities. Oh, we have Australia in the house. Paradise Swirl, cheers. Welcome to the chat. Italian represented. Kazakhstan, wow. That's cool. It's probably a new one. Oh, my tea's too hot. Okay, so for the body of the squid itself, we have this crazy Technic contraption, which we will be building in white. I think I'll have the squid's body in white. So we'll do that now. And basically the way I envision this model working is we'll have a central drive shaft up the middle, which will rotate all these gears. And these gears will transfer the rotation down to the tentacles at the bottom. So first we need to build a Technic frame to house all those gears. So we will start by doing that. And basically I need a grid of Technic holes. And there's a lot of different ways you can make something like that. But we are going to make it this way. Oh my God, my phone is ringing. Who's on my phone? Nobody. Nobody important. Probably just spam. They get everybody. And what else we got? Oh, I have some transparent. I don't know what happened to them. Anyway, we actually are going to have some basic bricks in this, just to hold everything together. Basically, the stand will be composed of basic bricks, and the squid will kind of be floating on top of it. I'm kind of not in the frame here. All right, so as I mentioned, we basically just need a way to suspend some tentacles in a grid pattern. And so I'm basically making 2 layers of Technic lift arms, kind of meshed one on top of each other. And I'm kind of just going by this prototype, which is actually built differently than the way I want to. But we'll figure it out. So I'm basically using a collection of various lift arms to achieve this result. And one thing, oh yeah, these, I just got these ones in white. They're actually not that common in white, or relatively new. I actually had to order some. They're very common in light gray and black. But since I wanted the entire squid body in white, but it's a great way to, as you can see, I'm starting to get a grid of holes. So that I can drop some axles through. And then we'll just and then I'm just going to put some gears. We're basically going to have 4 tentacles suspended on the bottom. So I'll need 4 axles extending out the bottom to drive the tentacles. Ooh, our Hamburg's in the house. Welcome, welcome. As always. What's the biggest build I've ever done? Probably in architecture, my own custom model. I built a minifig, no, not minifig, micro-scale version of the Canadian Parliament buildings many years ago. It was probably a few thousand pieces. And then I also built the Math and Computer Building from the University of Waterloo, which is where I went to school. That was probably like almost a meter wide and like 60 centimeters or a meter long, 60 centimeters wide. It was also quite a large build. Probably like, oh, I don't know, 8,000 pieces or so. Okay, so here we are coming together with a frame. We just need to put some other axle or Technic connectors on the end. So now you can see we have this nice grid of holes. And we've made it dual layer, so everything, they will hold together nicely. We have 4 Technic axles sticking out the bottom, each with an 8-tooth gear on it, and the tentacles are going to be suspended from those. Did I forget my Easter special, Red Benny? Yeah, no, I was away for Easter, so live stream was not going to happen. Oh, another German in the house. Welcome. So the orange gills are metal. No, they're not metal. They're just like pearl gold. I mean, they kind of look brassy, which is they're metallic looking, I guess. Although the quality varies quite a bit. As you can see, the 40 tooth gear I have here is pretty shiny, whereas this 24 tooth gear is more orangey, I guess. I think this would look good as like a brass gear in some kind of clockwork mechanism. So we shall see. CJ, what tea do you drink? Today I have Bengal spice. It's like cinnamon ginger flavoring. It's quite tasty. Okay, so we have a very basic body, and we actually need to drive all these tentacle pieces. Basically, the tentacles, I'm going to have these axle connectors suspended underneath. So we'll have 4 tentacles all rotating. But obviously these all need to be joined somehow. So we are going to do that. So we're going to use these actually before I do, I'll do this one first. We're going to put a central gear in. Central 16 tooth gear. And again, it's driven by an axle that extends down the middle. And then we're going to have, it's going to drive some adjacent gears that are beside it. So each of the tentacles will be driven by these two 16 tooth gears will mesh at the top. There's an axle that drops down to this 8 tooth gear, which drives this tentacle. And in theory, I could have driven the tentacle right off this axle, but they end up being a bit too close together. I actually need to offset them a little bit so they don't interfere with each other, and also don't interfere with the central drive shaft coming up the base. So I just offset them a little bit so that there's less interference. Sugar and tea or pure tea, our hamburger, just pure. I never add milk or sugar to tea. Sling Ming, are you building this off the cuff or is pre-modeled? I definitely have pre-modeled this a little bit. I already did a lot of prototyping. Actually, I started working on this model probably like 6 months ago. And it's kind of just been sitting on my build table ever since, and I kind of got distracted with other things. But I finally ordered enough pieces to build it in theory, the colors I want. And so we'll do it together now. We'll put it all together now. Okay, so here we have a nice grid of gears. They can all be driven from underneath. And they will transfer all the rotation to the 4 tentacles. So that's our basic squid body. And I'm actually going to build another one of these. I'm going to experiment with these. In addition to these kind of metallic-y gears I got, I also got, these are all clone bricks, by the way. These aren't genuine Lego, but I'm just experimenting with what's out there. I also got these like metallic looking axles and metallic looking lift arms. So I'm actually going to build a whole nother squid with those pieces just to see what it looks like. And then we'll take a look. We'll see what it looks like at the end. Our hamburger, yes. This will be the head of the squid, and I bought a few different colors so that we can see which one looks best. Oh, no problem. Our Hamburg. Thanks for popping in. Okay, so we're gonna build another one with some of these funky metallic-y looking pieces. Shouldn't take too long. The stream probably won't be super long, I don't think. It's a pretty small model, so hopefully we can get it done in maybe like an hour and a half or so. Oh, Tricks and Bricks is in the house. Hey-oh. Ooh, J-Pen Octopus Squid are my favorite. Excited to see this build. Cheers. Yeah, who doesn't like octopuses? Actually, Crystal and I are listening to an audiobook right now, which is all about, science fiction. It's all about these, like, intelligent octopuses that, actually, it's not really about the octopuses themselves, but how, like, you know, humanity reacts to them. It's kind of interesting. It's a bit of an odd book, but okay, so yeah, we're gonna try out some of these. One kind of unfortunate thing about these 8-tooth goldish gears is that they're the old style of 8-tooth gear, not the new style. So LEGO doesn't produce this style anymore, but they can kind of slide into the Technicals a little bit, which isn't super awesome. There's a reason LEGO redesigned them. Your mic is very good. Is it a clip-on mic, or where is it? It's a Yeti Blue. It's right in front of me. I don't know if you can see it. Oh yeah, you can just see it here in this view. Okay, I better make sure. Oh, I did that wrong already. But I do like these kind of metallic-y Technic beams as well, which are pretty cool. I don't know if I would use these pieces a lot in my own builds, but I think it's a cool option, you know, if you have a artistic vision of what you want to make. I could see making some like clockworky models in the future with the, you know, and these gears kind of make it seem like they're brass. They're kind of brass looking gears. So I think they might work well in like some kind of clockwork model. Just curious, how can one become a stream moderator? I don't know. Are you a responsible person? Tricks and Bricks is a moderator. Thanks for popping in, as always. Oh, Matt the Lego Maniac's back in the house. Can't stay, unfortunately. Cheers, thanks. Oh yes, I don't have a P.O. box for fans to send me fan mail. Yeah, I mean, I'm not really one for fan mail, but I've thought about it every once in a while, but I guess ultimately it hasn't been a high priority. Okay, I think I'm missing clearly I didn't get enough pieces out. Where did you get those gears from? I bought them from WeBrick, W-E Brick. And they sell different types of clone bricks. I know they sell like Go bricks and I guess generic clone bricks. I can't remember. I bought a variety of each type and they're actually slightly different. Like there's this like metallic tungsten-y one. Like, you might not be able to tell on stream. But these are actually two slightly different colors. And then, as I was mentioning, the pearl gold gears, they're not uniformly the same color. These ones, I like the color on this one a lot better than the other ones, but it's very subtle, the color differences. And it's not variations within manufacturers, just because they're different manufacturers. And to a certain extent, when you order parts from Weebricks, you can choose which manufacturer you want to get the bricks from, which is pretty interesting. Oh, Kevin 183 Weebrick, it's pretty decent. I use them too for the color variety, yeah. I've bought a few things from them just to see. I'm actually always just curious about the quality of clone bricks, and they're actually quite good. At least some of the parts that I bought, basic bricks at any rate. Oh, Jake Sadovich is in the house. I like those color gears, yeah. I'm really intrigued by them because, oh man, like the idea of like brass looking gears, ooh, it really interests me. It really piques my interest. Yes, please only English in the chat so everybody else can. If you want a private conversation with somebody, feel free to go elsewhere to do that. Oh no. Oh no, I put a pin where I wasn't supposed to put a pin. I guess that's why I didn't have an extra pin. Just a little bit of disassembly. Wonderworks, what are you building? I'm building a squid. Mechanical squid. Actually, I'm building two mechanical squids. I'm gonna build one with these funky clone gears that kind of look brassy. And then I'm gonna build one, which I've already got built here, with standard LEGO colors. White and gray. Are you an engineer? By education, yes. What the movement will be. Basically, I'm just going to spin the tentacles. We're just going to have 4 tentacles suspended underneath this squid-like body head. And we are going to make them spin. Ratrick, thanks for the channel. Cheers. I work at an escape room. Wow, I'm trying to learn small mechanical engineering concepts to make puzzles more fun for players. Interesting. Actually, I'm working on a puzzle box, which I think the design is almost done. That might be, might not be the next model I post, but it'll be coming up in the future. Okay, here we have 2 squid bodies, even though they don't really look like squid bodies. They're clearly just a bunch of gears. We have clearly it's just a gearbox. Literally, it's a box of gears. Literal gearbox. Pre-built in studio or LDD? I prototyped this in real life. Here's my funky prototype, and I actually had a few other prototypes kicking around, but oh yeah, here's another prototype, which is more like these final ones. I do have it partially made in LDD as well, though, because I will eventually make instructions for this. Zaphod Jr., any idea for someone who likes to assemble with one hand? I had a stroke. Interesting. I've been struggling to keep pieces from falling off the table. Interesting. Interestingly enough, the last convention I went to, I took part in the one-handed build challenge, which was we had to build a set with one hand, which was very interesting. There were definitely some techniques that I discovered and learned, obviously, which I'm sure you've probably already discovered. Obviously, you do a lot of like pressing pieces into other pieces on the table to join them. But as far as rolling off the table goes, I would definitely recommend building a lip or something for your table. Tricks and bricks. I love puzzle boxes. Oh yeah, I had some of them on display last year in Scareback. Oh, interesting. Have you posted them? I know I've seen a few online Lego puzzle boxes. And mine is definitely not going to be very difficult, I don't think, in terms of like puzzle boxes. But I thought it was an interesting challenge at any rate. Some people actually wanted instructions for them. Yeah, I mean, I think yeah, they're pretty cool in terms of concept. Okay, so for squid tentacles, I guess we can make some tentacles now. I'm just using these dinosaur kind of tail pieces. Stick them together. Actually, I guess I need to make... I guess I need to make 8 of them. There's only going to be 4 on each octopus, but I guess in theory I can make some different colors. Are the gears going to be in an angle? No, the gears will just be flat basically, and then the tentacles will have to be on clips. So to make the tentacles, I'm using this one of my new favorite pieces, this 2 long bar with the stopper thing in the middle. You just stick that on the end of that tail piece. Then we'll put this bar here and a basic clip with bar. So that way tentacles and that bar can just stick in one of these Technic axle connectors. So we can have a tentacle that hangs down below and rotates like so, which I think looks pretty decent. It's pretty simple to make, uses fairly common parts, which is always a plus. Matt Van Leeuwen, what do you want to build with Lego this year? It's always a good question. And actually, I never know the answer to that. I don't plan my projects ahead very far. In fact, I don't have much on the go right now. Other than this and the puzzle box, I'm going to have to start looking for some new projects to work on. Maybe I'll just try and build another kinetic sculpture. Okay, here we have 4 tentacles. Actually, I guess you can't really see until we get the side view. And here we go. And you can actually rotate these in place. So if we don't like how some of them are oriented, we can like twist them a little bit. You don't want all the tentacles to be like too sequential or rotate in the same way. But that looks probably pretty good. So we need to build a stand obviously for this, and we need to drive it. I think I'm gonna have the drive shaft's gonna go up the middle to drive everything. Okay, so for a base, and then we do need to build 4 other tentacle arms for my other squid. Hopefully I have enough pieces to build 4 more. Well, maybe we'll give it pearl gold tips to go along with the pearl gold gears. We'll see how that looks. The 2 long bars, where are those? Oh, it's a relatively new piece. I don't have a lot. Interesting. Actually, I do have a few, but they're in the, I think they're in the Academy for Expiring Scientists. I used a lot of them. Hold on, I just gotta get some clips. We'll see if we can dig those out at some point. Although the Academy is upstairs, so. Oh, I have some other gold. Maybe I use some of these gold accent pieces as well. Oh yeah, please keep it civil in the chat, and please keep it in English. Otherwise, you will get timed out. Okay, but I guess we need to start working on the stand so that, and we're just gonna have a basic stand, but although it will have, we'll obviously need some gearing running through it. I'll put a crankshaft on the back so that we can crank it by hand or with a motor. And I actually bought some, I want to give it kind of like an ocean feel, so I bought a bunch of pieces in medium azure, and dark blue, so we can give like a gradient of like ocean depths into the stand. Something random. Yes, these are just like pearl goldy type gears. They're not exactly the same as pearl gold, but yeah, they're not actually metal, but they look metallic, which is fun. Well, I think it's fun anyway. You can have your own opinion of them, which is perfectly valid. So I'm just gonna build a basic stand. And we'll put some tiles on it because I do love me some tiles. MI Troll TV, is that Lego head mug for your coffee? It is for my tea. I don't actually drink any coffee. It's ceramic. I mean, it's available. I don't know. It might still be available from Lego. I have no idea. Bricklets. Well, they don't exist. Not by Lego anyway. These are actually clone bricks. I'm making a clone version of this model and a Lego version of this model. Okay. So, as I mentioned, we do need some gearing on this. So use having a Technic plate. This is where the drive axle will run up from the bottom. And then we'll need to build some kind of drive system, and we'll just go, where's my regular gears? There they are. So this will be the drive from the side, and we have a bevel gear here to drive. I better make sure I have this at the right height. Oh yeah, I think I need to bring it up a plate. GD Typhon, watching JK's stream while building is like I'm building Lego with him in the same room. Very relaxing. Wow, cheers. I appreciate that. Okay, so we have, basically this is just a, simple axle with a couple gears on the end, and I'm actually going to put an 8-tooth gear above this to gear it down so that it spins slower, which is why I have the 24-tooth gear at the base. And then we're going to suspend a half bevel gear to interact with this on the top. We'll put an axle in from underneath. Put that there. Now when we rotate this one in the back, that central vertical axle will spin. Oh, fairly basic. And we're going to start decorating our base. I wanted to carry the kind of rounded motif from the squid head itself. So we have kind of like a rounded slopes on the bottom. And then, I think I want, where's my crank? Clearly I'm missing a gear or a... So we'll put an 8-tooth gear meshing with that 24-tooth gear. And then we'll stick a crankshaft on the back. That way we can crank it by hand. And it'll rotate. What's your favorite thing to build? Interesting. This right here, what you're looking at, small kinetic objects. I really enjoy building like small models that have some kind of interesting motion. Usually like natural themed or humanoid themed, I guess. Paradise Swirl. I have a few small Lego models, but my favorites are my Speed Champions and my Technic McLaren. Currently I have 7 Speed Champions cars. I mean, the Speed Champions cars, yeah, they are quite nice. They're usually pretty interesting builds, and they're not too large. They're easy to store. Okay, we're gonna layer, and just like the ocean depths, as we go up, we're getting lighter and lighter. So I have some dark azure here. Then we're gonna put some medium azure. Put it all together. And then we'll put some white at the top. And there we have our ocean stand. Pretty simple, but I think it looks pretty nice. I like the color gradient. And then we need, I had some transparent pieces. I don't know where the heck they went. Hold on a second. Okay, I found them. I'm back. These are what's gonna suspend the squid. So we're gonna have a transparent support built up onto the stand, which the entire squid body will stick on like so. So it'll be suspended. And obviously we need to connect that drive shaft to the squid itself. And I originally just had some axles going up there, but I don't like the look of the axles. And actually, axles in white are... I could have these ugly black axles sticking up through the middle, but I did not want that. And I actually do have some... Well, I just took it out. I do have some 16 long white axles, which are extremely rare. But I'm actually not going to do that. We're actually going to just build our own axle out of these bars, which is really easy to do, and it'll result in a, much smoother looking drive axle. Basically, you can basically just stick these bars in these Technic connectors, and there's enough friction that there's not a lot of torque, so you won't be able to drive anything too complex. But there's definitely enough friction that you can drive simple mechanisms using this. So I'm actually going to stick this up the middle of the squid so that when we connect it back to the base, when we rotate the crank, it'll actually rotate that. And because it's not actually an axle, it doesn't even really look like it's rotating that much. Obviously you can tell when you look at the axle connectors that they're rotating. But because the bars are smooth, it just looks like it's being supported almost. Are there no transparent options for the axle? No. LEGO has never made transparent axles as far as I know. Okay, and then we need we need a carapace, I guess. So I'm just going to use a little click plate with click hinges on it, and then we can put our transparent squid head on. And I do like the transparent squid head because it allows you to see all the gears moving on the inside. I think this canopy comes in a solid color. I don't know if I have any, but I didn't really like that. But we also have some other options. We have this light blue, which is kind of interesting too. It actually matches kind of the base colors. And we also have orange. Which is also kind of interesting. But I think for my primary display, I'm just going to have it in clear transparent. But if you have a preference, I don't know if this part comes in white solid, but which I also think would look interesting. That's actually a really good question. Can we find out? We can. Color info. It doesn't come in white. It comes in solid yellow and solid tan. And then the transparent colors. So yeah, no solid white, unfortunately. If you made them with black axles and added a black background, it might help with the illusion. Yeah, it could. When I take pictures of it, I'll try it on black. And then I think I could use these pieces in solid black as well. Definitely something to experiment when I take some photos of it. Light blue's real nice. Cheers. Yeah. Leg power. Yeah, I mean, we'll stick a motor on this and we'll get it rotating. Faux show. Actually, I don't like that two-tone tentacles on this one. So yeah, let's we might as well just get a motor going right now. And actually, let's just go super simple. Let's just see what happens when I think that's but I think we will gear it down a little bit. I just need to get some bricks to put on this motor. Where are the four other arms going? They'll just go on the second one. I'm just going to build two of them. Okay, so here we stuck a motor on. Obviously, when I have this on display at a show or something, we'll just have it continuously running like so. Which is not very pleasant sounding, but visually, I think it's pretty nice, pretty soothing. Squid has 8 arms, not 4. Yes, obviously. It's clearly not an accurate squid model, but it's like a mechanical squid. Can you make gear, recoil, make fast for squid? Sure. Looks kind of like a jellyfish. Yeah. I mean, it does. Perfectly accurate jellyfish. A perfectly accurate jellyfish that happened to lose 4 arms in a freak boating accident. But clearly I'm missing some pieces for these other jellyfish arms, so we'll just set those aside. Okay, so we've seen it with this standard body. Let's get this clone body in the mix. I'm curious to see what it looks like. I'm just gonna have to steal the squid legs. Legolas 007, love what you do. Cheers, thanks. Squid community is offended. Yeah. I don't want to make it look too realistic, otherwise the squid community might be even more offended. Trying to replicate squids. Okay, let's see how this looks with these funky clone brass looking gears. Not sure it actually looks I think if the tentacles could also be shiny metal, it might look okay, but I think the gears would look better in some kind of you know, Victorian clockwork model of some sort. Well, the jellyfish community might be offended you call them squids. I mean, what's the official name of I'm sure squids are a thing, aren't they? What the hell's a squid? I guess the squid is let's see, it's a mollusk. Versus a jellyfish is what? Where's my education component of this live stream? Okay, I'm gonna put the other body back on. Well, GD Typhon has to go. Cheers, yeah. Well, clearly this stream is pretty short anyway. Obviously finished this model. So I'll probably just wrap things up in like 10 minutes. We'll like hit an hour. So if anybody has any questions, feel free to ask away as I put this white one back together. Way to only have the middle rod to prop it up. Yeah, I thought about that. And in theory, it will support it. Like, it actually will, if you just want a static model. It's a bit flimsy, but then, of course, when you try and rotate it, you need something to hold the actual body. Now we just have a rotating squid. Which is interesting, I guess. But I actually I really wish LEGO would create some kind of hollow support that you could run an axle through. And I mean, they have kind of some pieces you can, but they're typically pretty big and bulky. It would be great to have, you know, something low profile, like these pin joiners. These pin joiners you can run an axle through and rotate, but if you had like a really long pin joiner with some kind of connector on each end so that you could actually have like a rigid shaft with an axle running through it, that would be pretty sweet, I think. It'd be fun to try and get it to rotate and have both and the arm spin, yeah. But in the meantime, we're stuck with having some kind of external support to stabilize the body while the arms rotate. 2x2 round pieces aren't awful. I mean, 2x2 rounds have axle holes in them, so you can't spin an axle within them. Which is unfortunate. And they have pillars that do it, I think. Hold on a second. Like, these pillars actually would work. But because it's a one solid piece, you can't get anything inside them. So you need like a long axle. So obviously this is exactly what I want, but I don't want it to be tan. And it'd be nicer if it was a bit thinner, because obviously having this in the center of this squid would be no better really than having what I have now. But it'd be great if this was, you know, the width of this axle joiner, and also available in different colors. Have I seen Dirk Gently's Holistic Detective Agency? Yes, I have. Zaphod. Andre Peterman, cheers, thanks. Yes, today has been awesome so far. It's a good start. What's your favorite project yet? Potato. Favorite project that I've worked on? Actually, the Academy for Expiring Scientists was definitely the most fun I've had in a long time. Grab yourself a 3D printer, small one, and you can make a lot of custom parts. Cheap too, yeah. Yeah, which is great for me, for the models I create, but, you know, I will share instructions for this model, so it doesn't do anybody, or obviously if people have 3D printer, that's fine for them too, but if I want other people to make this easily, I need to use stock parts that are readily available. Turn a leg into a transfer axle. Oh yeah, I could. It'd be hard to drive it from the bottom. But that is an interesting idea for sure. How'd you get into Lego? I mean, I loved Lego when I was a kid. Wait, what do you mean by metal gears? They just look like they just look like brass gears. D Devil, never catch you live. Just want to say I absolutely love your content. Cheers. Keep up the good work, man. Oh, that's awesome. Great of you to say. Lego Technic Yoshihito showed off some recent build where he runs rotation through 2x2 pillars. Yeah. Which I guess is probably this one. Obviously, I love his work too. I wonder how it would look with a 10x10 clear dish on the top. Maybe even the printed one from the Grievous wheel bike. Well, let's see. Let's get my dishes out. Here's 10x10 trans. The Grievous wheel bike has these ones. Adjustable side pillars mean... Oh yeah, so that's a new brick, yeah. I guess we need a way to support... Actually, I mean, this, the Grievous wheel bike print is quite interesting. It's pretty shallow though, so not really great as a... hold on, I need to figure out some way of mounting this. We'll just go... Obviously, I can probably figure out a better way to do this at some point, but for now, I'm just going to use basic bricks. I can go one plate lower. Maybe too shallow indeed. I mean, it's an interesting look. It almost looks like a tall neck from Horizon Zero Dawn. It's got that tall neck dish kind of look. Oh, obviously that's too low. But that was a great idea. It's very interesting. Let's like a tall neck squid version of a squid. We ran the drive shaft through the support pillar in the back, removing the middle support entirely to make it floating. Yeah, again, yeah, that's definitely a possibility. Of course, then the support pillar in the back couldn't be transparent. You know, again, it would have to be tan or whatever other colors that comes in, which I'm not really sure about. Let's go find out. If it came in black, that would be a possibility, just because if you put on a black background, oh, it does come in black. Interesting. I don't know if I have any in black. Black. Ooh, dark blue might be an interesting option. Ooh, hasn't been produced in dark blue in a long time. Or white. Comes in white. Yeah, definitely something to think about as well. You do need a long axle though, which aren't super common. And it's like an odd size. So I can't actually make it the same height as it is now. I'd have to make 2 of these stacked together, which means the squid would be quite a bit higher, which is okay. But it's definitely a lot less flexibility when using this part. 42445. What is that? Oh yeah. Yeah, I've definitely used that part a lot in the past, which is this transparent piece. And I actually thought about having the drive axle be that as well. But again, I'd need to connect 2 of them together because one of them isn't long enough. And then it would be quite a bit higher than it is now. And also I'd still need something to connect them together, which wouldn't be transparent. So either, like, I'd need to connect 2 together. So I'd have basically a floating axle joiner in the middle, which might look a bit odd as well. Definitely some good possibilities though. Do I have 2 of those dishes? If so, you can maybe put something on the sides plus something in between. Yeah, possibly. I mean, I have smaller dishes too. There's like 8x8 dishes as well. Spinning print would give it a nice effect. Oh yeah. Oh, then the disc spins. Oh yeah, you could have the spin. Oh yeah. Okay, I like that idea. Okay, let's I can just extend this axle. Hold on. Let me pull this out. And we'll just get a longer axle, maybe a 6 long. 5 long might do, but whatever. We'll get 6 long for now, just to make sure it's long enough. Hello from the Philippines. Can route 1 or more squids on the wall and run the axle through the wall to the squids. Okay, now we're gonna have a spinning canopy. Interesting, it actually spins because of the way they have the gearing. Actually, it doesn't spin any fast. It spins the same rate of his legs. It just looks like it's spinning faster. Tricks and bricks. We need more clear Lego pieces. Yes, absolutely. Yes, this is very interesting. Great idea, guys. From the side, I think it looks a little bit like it's too shallow, the dish, but from like, well, if you're looking at it on a table from the top, it actually looks pretty cool. What about putting the motor on the head and the battery on the base? That will only need one support. Yeah, unfortunately, the motors are so large. I could definitely make a bigger squid, but I like the fact that this one's pretty small, pretty low-key. Yeah, it looks awesome from above, I agree. It's pretty cool. You can make the axle run through the stand or behind it. Yeah. Again, yeah, there are some possibilities. Then the top plate, a Technic plate with some gears. Cool. Definitely some interesting possibilities. I think for the... this piece is also, I imagine this piece is pretty rare these days. So I think for the version I make for the instructions will just be we'll just have the basic dome, because it's definitely more readily available. But I'll definitely, when I make a video of this, I'll probably add this as an option, and then people can use it if they want. Obviously, where the heck is this part? I assume dish decorated is its own category on Bricklink. Dish decorated. Oh yeah, here it is. How much does this thing go for? Oh, it's not even that expensive. You can get them pretty cheap used, even new, a couple bucks. I mean, there's definitely not a lot of them available, but the new printed dish of that Star Wars diorama is maybe a nice effect. The one to be released soon. Oh, interesting. 10 by... Oh, most valuable piece. Yeah, interesting. It's probably a minifig, I would guess. I actually sold some of my... I did have like a... You know, I have a lot of old Star Wars sets. So I had the printed Boba Fett from Cloud City. I sold it a little while ago, though, because I definitely didn't need it. Oh, Anthony Grasso needs to get going. Thank you for taking the time to walk through the build. Looks pretty cool. Cheers. Thanks. Thanks for joining as well. Yeah, Star Wars diorama. Yeah, which one? I think the Emperor's Throne Room doesn't have a dish, right? It's just got a... Does it? I think it had a brick built... Oh, it does have a dish. Interesting. Yeah, yeah. What size dish is that? Is it a dish? It's hard to tell. These pictures are terrible. Why don't you show me... Oh, it's just a clear dish with some printing. I see. Hello from Lego Country. Oh, another Denmark. Cheers. Here's a dish. Yeah, my rarest Lego item is an 8-year-old Grima worm tongue. Oh yeah, goes for more than 150 bucks. Well, yeah. Yeah, minifigs are definitely where it's at. Okay, anyway, I think we're pretty good here. Thanks for everybody for joining. I think we'll just wrap it up. It might take me still a little while to make instructions for this and make a video for it, but thanks for all the input and the discussion. It was really great experimenting with some things with you guys. And yeah, as always, thanks for watching. Keep on building, and